Good morning, everyone. Thank you for your interest in this info session and for being here to know a little bit more about the INNO4COV-19 open call. I will start by making you a brief presentation about the project so that you understand how the open call fits within the overall objectives of the project. And then I will share with you some information related with the open call, which is what brought us all here today. So starting with the INNO4COV-19 project, INNO4COV-19 stands for Boosting Innovation for COVID-19 Diagnostic, Prevention and Surveillance. It's a project that is funded within the Horizon 2020 framework, and it's part of the Coronavirus Global Response Initiative from the European Commission. The objective or the main goal of the project is to accelerate the uptake of innovative technologies to tackle COVID-19 and to better prepare Europe and its citizens for future pandemics that we may be facing in the future or other relevant situations. The project counts with an overall budget of 6.2 million euros. And it is going to be implemented within the next 2 years. So it started already in the beginning of October. The consortium that will be implementing the activities of the project is composed of 11 partners. The partners come from different countries within the European Union, and the composition of the consortium was made taking into account the gathering of competences, so capabilities, expertise and know-how in different aspects that are of utmost importance for supporting companies to implement their technologies and take them to the market. And so we are talking about technical, regulatory, clinical and business support expertise that will be provided within this network. INL is the coordinator of the project and is also the responsible for managing this innovation, INNO4COV-19 open call. In terms of the aim of the project, so the mission of INNO4COV-19 is to create a lab to fab platform, which we aim that will contribute to unify the European response to fight COVID-19. And we are going, so the objective is to establish an open innovation network, let's say, that initially will be composed by the partners of the consortium, but the idea is to extend this network to all the relevant stakeholders at an European level. And the idea is that within these 2 years of implementation, we are able to establish 4 different sub platforms that will be integrated in this overall platform. And we will be providing the tools to companies and to other relevant actors that want to develop and implement innovative technologies. So we will be providing support from the idea assessment to market exploitation. These platforms, so the overall platform will be focused on 4 technological domains. And so we are addressing technologies within that can be fit within the domain of innovative diagnostic and screening systems. Here we are talking about fast, cost-effective, easily deployable sampling, screening, diagnostic and prognostic systems that can somehow include new technologies or new ways of screening using, for instance, artificial intelligence or other solutions such as advanced photonic technologies. We are also addressing technologies within the environmental surveillance. Here we might be looking into integrated and automatic digital systems, for instance, for detecting or for preventing virus spread within the communities. We also have a technology domain that is dedicated for sensors and devices for telemedicine, so that can allow for a continuous remote monitoring of patient parameters, and that can somehow release the capacity that we have now, that hospitals are now facing, so the high demand for for hospitals, and also, of course, an area that is dedicated to protective equipment, not only for people, but also to ensure safe public spaces and buildings. So the way that we are going to develop these platforms, and also the objective is that after these 2 years of implementation of the project, that these platforms will be sustainable and will be a living platform that will be fed by the ideas coming from the companies, and will be and these challenges will be then answered by the network agents. But the idea that we are going, the way that we are going to develop this platform is by, in one hand, we are going to support 5 test cases that are representative of the addressed technology domains that I just showed you. These 5 test cases are cases or technologies that are developed by the partners of the consortium. We have technologies in screening systems, advanced diagnostics, in filtering materials for protective masks, technologies that are more focused on the process for production of the masks and sterilization, and also technologies that include sensors and devices to be used as monitoring as for monitoring of patients. And these technologies will allow us to obtain best practices that we can then include, or that we can take when developing the platform. And on the other hand, we also have these projects that we are going to support within the open call for proposals. And the idea is that these projects will also help the consortium to better define the standard operational procedures, to better refine the catalog of services that will be provided within the network, within the platform. And so it will be an adaptive and learning process for us, and also a benefit for those that decide to apply for the open call. And finally, what we intend is that this platform can provide technical, regulatory, and business support, and also they can support companies and other relevant actors in accessing the conditions to establish the clinical validation and testing of your solutions in real conditions. So this is the overall concept of the project. Now you understand a little bit more how the open call fits within the scope of the project. And now we are going to be a mutually benefit situation for both of us, so for the project and for those that decide to apply. Going into the INNO4COV-19 open call and the information that I wanted to share with you today. So most of you might already know more or less this information, but for those of you that are not familiar, so the open call aims to provide support to companies or consortia of companies that have solutions that are a really response to the challenges that we are facing right now nowadays. So we really want to support those technologies that can actually have an impact on COVID-related challenges. And therefore, these the technologies need to be already in a later stage of development. So we are addressing technologies that are at the technology readiness level of 6 or 7. So that this means that they need to be validated in relevant environments. And in some cases, of course, we understand at the lab scale, but that already have or that only need the assembly and to be validated then in real conditions. The technologies need to focus on one of the 4 technological domains that I just showed you, that are also listed here. And the way that, or the benefits that you will have if you apply and if you are successful in the open call are, besides the financial support that is up to 100,000 euros, 100% funded, is also you will also be benefiting for tailored support and guidance that will be provided to you by the consortium. And that will be supporting you in technical, regulatory, and business aspects of course, into some extent. So we are talking about guidance and support that can be provided at an initial stage. Besides this, we also ensure you that you will have media exposure. We will be disseminating materials for all the projects that will be approved, and concerning also the importance of and the urgency of the fight to COVID-19, you will also be benefiting for media exposure that will also be, of course, of an advantage to you in terms of market exploitation and market introduction of your technologies to the market. The open call is already launched, so it was launched on the 2nd of November. It will be open until the end of May 2021, and we will have 3 cutoffs. One already at the end of this month, another one in the end of March, and at the end of May. And at the end of each cutoff, we will be evaluating the batch of proposals we received so far. And you will have, so the timeline for having a feedback will be 40 days after each cutoff date. In terms of the eligibility criteria, so the most relevant or the most important information that you have to retain is that the proposal, so the project, the open call is designated for companies. So we only accept applicants that are companies legally recognized and that need to qualify for H2020 funding, or consortia of companies. Of course, that there are also some requirements that have to be fulfilled, and you can also, and I advise you to read carefully the guide for applicants, specifically the section 2, where you can find the rules and conditions. And the necessary requirements that you need to comply with are, for instance, that you should not have had convictions for fraudulent behavior, you should not have been declared bankrupt, and other relevant requirements that you can consult in the guide for applicants. You have to be based in one of the member states of the European Union or in an associated country to H2020. Here, let me just highlight that UK entities are eligible within the H2020 framework, and this also applies to cascade funding or to this third-party granting system that governs the open call. Your technologies, as I said before, need to fit under one of the 4 technological domains, and the technologies need to be between TRL 6 or 7. Just to make clear that research and technology organizations are not eligible, even if they are part of the consortia, they will not receive the financial support, okay? So the financial support is only destined for companies. And also to ensure that that we are absent of conflict of interests, applications will not be accepted for members of the consortium or for people or organizations that have a formal link to the partners of the consortium. In terms of the costs that are eligible, so the financial support that goes up to 100,000 euros, can be used to cover expenses, those that are listed here. So we are talking of personal resources, as long as they are used, or they are that personnel that is involved in the implementation of the project, so in the activities that you will describe in the technical proposal. The financial support also covers consumables, components, and materials that are used for the product or technology development, travel and accommodation and subsistence costs, for instance, for meetings with the team of the project team, or for validations. We also have coverage of support services for product technology development validation. Here I will show you a little bit further the type of support services that can be provided within the INNO4COV-19 network, so that you have a better idea of the type of services that you can ask for support. And also overheads, as long as they don't exceed 50% of the total of the overall budget that you estimate for your project. Again, let me just clarify some situations that are not eligible. So acquisition of equipment, costs that are not related with the project implementation, costs that are incurred before the project start date, and also costs that were already funded by other European Union projects. You can apply with a project that is being funded. So the overall project can be funded by the European Union. So you can have a funded project that you wish to apply here, but the costs that you request for which you request the financial support cannot be already funded by the other project. Other relevant criteria and information. So English is the only official language during the whole length of the third party grant process. So the technical proposals, all the communications, the evaluation process, everything needs to be done in English. Another thing is that you can apply with as many projects as you want, but no project can be funded twice by this open call. No single party can receive more than 100,000 euros throughout the open call. So this limit is valid for all the cutoffs. So you can apply more than in one cutoff, but in overall you cannot have more than 100,000 euros of financial support. And also this limit applies for projects. So each project cannot exceed a budget of 100,000 euros. The mandatory submission tool is the one that is available at F-Success platform. So in this link here, and that you can also find in the guide for applicants and in the website of the project. Now going to a little bit into the process for submission. So how you can apply for the open call. So in overall, these are the steps that you need to fulfill. So first, we really advise you to carefully read the guide for applicants. You also have available in the website of the project and specifically on the tab dedicated to the open call, a document that has some frequently asked questions and that we are going to update regularly based on the questions and the feedback that we are receiving through the help desk, which is also another tool that you can access to if you have any questions. So we advise you to carefully read everything, the rules and conditions, the rules for participation, how the process will be, how the proposals will be evaluated. After that, you can download the proposal template, take a look in what is requested. Please comply with the character limits here when developing your proposal. Then you have to fill in the proposal template and save it as a PDF file. Then you go to the F-Success platform, you start your application online. You can, when you navigate to the platform, you will see that, well, first you have to do a registration, but then that allows you to save your application and to keep the application, the fields are still complete, and you can then finish and upload the documents in a later stage. You have to upload your proposal file and then submit your application and wait 40 days until you have a communication of the results. Where to begin? So you can go to the website, so the dedicated page that we have to the open call, and where you can see the documents that we have available. And if you click at apply here, you will be redirected to the F-Success platform. So registration is required. It's a simple registration as you will see. So you can use your Facebook account, your LinkedIn, or even log in with your email. And this will allow you then to have a track on your application and to also be able to exchange messages. So if you submit an application, for instance, and you wish to review something before the deadline or to resubmit it again, you can also place there a comment and ask for resubmitting, and we will reopen your submission and allow you to change what you have inserted so far and to upload another document. So the registration gives you the flexibility to do these type of things. Going a little bit into the technical proposal. So first, an important note that we really want to stress is to do not disclose any confidential information. Okay, so we are binded so we will comply with a confidentiality agreement. Everyone involved in the evaluation process, not only the internal evaluators, but also external evaluators that we will have, We'll also have a confidentiality agreement, but we believe that it is better if you don't provide confidential information. You will have the chance to have an interview if your proposal is successful in reaching a threshold. You will be invited to an interview, so you can then disclose more information that you find useful. So keep the information strictly to answer to what is demanded on on each one of the sections. So the technical proposal is divided in these 5 sections and another in an annex. So we have a project summary, a concept and objectives, outcomes and impact, implementation, resources, where you have to specify your estimated budget, and finally an ethical checklist that you need to fill, and that follows more or less what is demanded in each 2020 projects. Going a little bit deep into the technical proposal. So you can find all this information in the technical, so the template. So everything that I am showing you here is there listed. So I will not go into detail. So I will not dig that much into this, but just provide you some general tips. So on the project summary, you have to be brief, and you have to show us here on this summary exactly what you intend with your project, with your proposal, and the need that you have, and how you are going to address a specific challenge in the fight against COVID. Please be aware that this section will be used for communication purposes, so please don't really don't include any confidential information. On the concept and objective section, so here you have to describe the overall project idea, explain how the technological solution addresses COVID-19 challenges. You have to identify the business challenge or the technical challenges and barriers that you expect to solve, and that you expect that you can have support in achieving. And also you have to identify the evolution of the TRL that you need to obtain, that you will obtain within the project. We advise you here that you list the objectives very clearly, so in bullet points or in a table form, and you include as much as possible KPIs for each project. Also, and since it is the visual representations are always important when you want to really pass the message, we also recommend that you use figures or schemes to better explain what is the solution. For the outcomes and impact section, here you really have to identify the support services that you will be requesting for INNO4COV-19 network, okay? So you have to also, of course, describe the key outcomes of the project, the impact that you will have in terms of the market and in terms of the COVID-19 challenges. Explain how your company is positioned to exploit the results, and how also explain how the proposal is related with the vision and the objectives of the overall project. For the implementation, what we ask is for you to describe the activities and the tasks that you foresee for the project. Okay, so, and provide also timings for the different activities and tasks. You will have tables for each activity where you can have also the possibility to describe the tasks comprised in each activity and to include milestones. So the milestones are really important so that we understand exactly what you intend to reach within each activity. And then the final section is the resources. So here what we expect is that you estimate the overall budget for the project, and you need to explain so you need to include this information in 3 tables. So once the first table, you need to describe or to include the budget for each activity. Then you will have the opportunity to detail or to outline this budget in terms of budget items, so the main budget items that the financial support covers: support services, personnel, consumables, traveling, and overheads. Provide the amount that you estimate for each one of these items. And in the case of the support services, we ask you to indicate specifically the amount of the budget that you aim to dedicate for services that will be requested from our platform. And then in case you have indicated costs with personnel, you need to break down this cost. So you need to explain here or to indicate the profile of the personnel that will be involved. So if it will be a person that has a technical profile or a business profile, you have to estimate the time that person will be dedicated to the activity, and this is in the figure of person month. Then you have to provide us the monthly rate without overhead, so the real cost of that profile, and to multiply the person month for the monthly rate, and then you reach the direct personal cost of each profile. And you also have to indicate in which activities you intend to involve each profile as well. Please, regarding the budget, be aware that we understand that you will be providing indicative budgets, so we are not expecting that you provide budgets by the cent. Of course, that if you have already a very detailed plan, we welcome you to share that with us, but we understand that in some cases you will be providing estimations. So don't fear that because we are aware that it's quite hard to really provide an exact budget, for instance, for the support services. Here you will have the opportunity, in case your proposal is successfully evaluated, and if you are invited for the interview, you will have the opportunity to of course to then dig a little bit deeper into the budget that is dedicated for the support services, specifically for that budget that is requested within our platform. Now, in the ethical checklist here, so it's very straightforward. You need to place yes or no. If you are thinking that you will have a yes to one of these questions, so please contact us through our help desk, so at info@INNO4COV-19.eu for guidance. So we will try to support you on this because in some cases, if you for instance, we had already a question related with the import of material for non-European Union countries. So in this case, we are talking about biological material or personal data. Okay, so in some cases you might have some doubts. So please reach to us, and we will try to support you as much as possible. Now, regarding the evaluation process, so I already told you some things during this presentation. So after you submit your application, you will receive an automatically generated acknowledgement, and is this acknowledgement that sets the beginning of the evaluation process. So after this, we will be doing a first eligibility check. So we will be checking if the proposal is complying with the rules, if it's written in English, if you are a company, if your technology is within one of the 4 technological domains, and so on. Then the applications that are eligible will go into a second stage where a remote evaluation will be done by an evaluation committee that will be composed by internal and external experts. The evaluation committee will be evaluating the proposal against 4 criteria that I will show you in the next slide, and the proposals that reach a specific threshold will then be invited for an interview. Well, you will have the opportunity to clarify some questions, to better explain your proposal, and to have the opportunity to show more information on your proposal. Those applications that so we will sort the applications. We will then have a meeting, a consensus meeting, and the decisions will be reviewed and accepted by the European Commission project officer, and you will receive so the communication of results at day 40. The criteria for evaluation, so it follows, they follow more or less what is normally used on this type of applications. So we will be assessing the impact of the technology, the excellence of the idea and the approach that you propose, the quality and the efficiency of the implementation, and also the added value contribution from our network. So the maximum score that you can achieve is 16, and criteria 1 to 3 that they are scored within a scale from 0 to 5, being 5 the best scenario, let's say, and criterion 4, so we have a score of 0 if you do not mention the need for our support services, and a score of 1 if you clearly identify which is the support requested from us. Now, I wanted to share this information with you. So, because we have been receiving already some questions regarding with the type of support or the capabilities or the intervention of each one of the partners, or the added value that each partner can provide to your proposal. And so we did this mapping, so where you can find some examples of support services that we can provide within this open call, and which partner is able to provide this support. So as you can see, we can provide more technical support, for instance, the access to demonstration, testing, and pilot production and related engineering activities. So we can support you in prototyping and assembling, in developing specific parts of your technology, for instance, material modeling and characterization, characterization services, nanosafety, cytotoxicity. We can go also for some more clinical related support, business, regulatory, and so on. And an important thing is that if we don't have inside of our network, if we don't have still the necessary competencies to answer to your request, we will be, of course, assessing your needs and channeling you to recognize international agents that will be also part of our network. So we will be able to redirect you to the best stakeholders that can support you in whatever you need. We are going to disclose this information also in the guide for applicants. You can see later on this information. And then you can also, I invite you to visit also the websites of the partners that are involved in the project, so that you can find also some information on the technical background, the expertise, the infrastructures that we have in-house, and you can better understand how we can support you. Just a final thing. If you go to when you go to the F-Success platform, you will find a tab there, which is this one highlighted, Discuss, where you can include your questions. You can start an open discussion that will be public to everyone. So although we have the help desk, and we encourage you to ask all your questions through that channel, we also invite you to use this tool in the F-Success platform, because this will allow you also in a more collaborative way to ask questions, to have your questions clarified, so everyone will have access to what is being discussed in terms of the specificities of the project, of the open call, and it will be more profitable for everyone, and a more open process, let's say. So after being here 30 minutes talking and giving you a lot of information, so I invite you to questions that you may have. So let me see. Just a moment. So let me just tell you that besides me, Mariana Fernandes, that I'm part of INL. We have also here Paula Galvão, which is the Chief Officer of the Business and Strategic Relations Department at INL, and she will be also providing assistance to your questions. So let me see.
Thank you, Mariana. We already have some questions on the Q&A.
Okay, I'm going to see it in order. So hello, the applicant can be a single organization or a consortium. Should be the cost of clinical validation and regulatory for support that will support me. Okay, so yeah, so the applicant can be a single company or a consortium. Of course, that the project might be developed by a consortium, but if you apply, if the consortium is not a legal entity, let's say, you can nominate a company that will apply on behalf of the consortium. But on the technical proposal, you should describe that that project is being developed by the consortium and explain a little bit how the composition of the consortium and the role of each partner within the consortium. And the costs for the clinical validation and the regulatory support that we might provide for within the network, they will have to be integrated in your budget. So you will have to estimate how much of the budget you are willing to or you think it's reasonable to include for this type of support. And as I said before, if your proposal reaches the threshold that will allow you to go to an interview, then we will be discussing with you in more detail the budget that you have set for our support services. Now, the second question, can you please clarify proposal writing 2000? It's with spaces. You can find on the technical proposal that the limits that we provide include spaces already.
Mariana, it's important to say that I think on the previous question, if a consortium, RTOs and universities are not eligible, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I already told that on the when I was explaining, but this is really important for you to understand that even if they are part of the project implementation, so their costs will not be funded within the financial support that we provide, and so that's why they are excluded from the applicants. Now, the third question, limits on characters are space. Yeah, I already answered, so it's space included. Next, are there standard costs for the different profiles of personnel, or do we need to use real costs?
Real costs.
Yeah, real costs, exactly. We don't specify limits. Will these slides be shared? Yeah, we are going to share this. So this video is going to be available on our website, so you can dig into this information. But let me just tell you that all the information that we disclosed today, it is included on the guide for applicants, on the frequently asked questions. So everything is already made public. And you can access that information there, and we will always be updating, let's say, the questions, the frequently asked questions document, so that we can accommodate all the questions that we will receive through the help desk. Is there a synthetical description for each service in the table? We don't have a synthetical description, so we have general support services that we can provide, and then it's up to you to tell us exactly exactly what you need within your proposal. So we wanted to leave it as open as possible, so that we don't restrain the type of service, the support that you will request. I hope this clarifies. I don't know, Paula, if you want to add something.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. Now, next question. Dear all, thank you very much. Concerning support services, do we need to contact one or more partners inside your network before submitting applications? Or is it enough to indicate in the proposal which kind of services we need from the network? So we, during the proposal stage, we are not going to interact with the applicants regarding the specific support that you need from us. So we want to make the process as clean and open as possible. So we strongly advise that you include on your proposal the need that you think or the need that you need from us, the service that you need from us, and then if we have some questions, we will come to you rather than doing the other way around. So in this way, we leave the process as much open and clean as possible. Yeah, I hope this answers your question. So next question, if a proposal is rejected, can the project be resubmitted in the next call? It can. So you can always improve your application, your proposal, or it might happen that between one of the cutoffs, your proposal or your technology will be more advanced and you will have more information to provide to us. So you are always invited to resubmit your application in the next cutoffs. Is the open call addressed to biomedical projects or also to technical ones? Yeah, we are not restricting to biomedical projects. So the idea is that your project is focused, or it fits under the 4 technological domains. And so as long as it contributes to solve a specific need that we have in the fight for COVID-19, that is within those 4 technological domains, you are invited to submit an application. So you don't need to be a biomedical based company to apply for the call. So the call is open to companies from all sectors, as long as the project focus on the technological domains. What are the best practice to estimate the support costs? Should we consider it as
I don't understand this question too much.
I
don't understand this question, Mariana. I don't know if
yeah.
you understand it.
Yeah, maybe you can
rephrase it
a bit. And I will skip to the next question. So good morning. Thanks for the consortium can be composed only by companies or even by public hospitals or universities. Yeah, so as I said before, so the consortium, so the applicants need to be companies. The ones that will have the financial support are companies, but the project itself, so the overall project, might have public hospitals or universities benefiting from the project, but the financial support is only destined for companies. So the next question, can the costs include testing of the prototype in specialist laboratories? Yes, it can include. So as long as it is a cost that you need to take your technology to the market, you can include it in the proposal. In case of a clinical study to show the capabilities of our product, so in this case a remote monitoring system, can we perform it in our country or does it have to include a second, third party? Yeah, I think that you can perform it in your country. Yeah. I don't know, Paula, if you have anything to add to this. I think
yeah,
we don't put restrictions.
No restriction, yeah.
So another question, if my project is selected, how is the payment scheduled and amount? Okay, so the way that we are going to provide the financial support is in the form of so it's a form of a lump sum that will be paid in 2 installments. So we will be providing 50% of the budget of the financial support after signing the grant agreement, and then 50% at the end of the project. Of course, if the milestones or we will be also looking into the milestones and the objectives of the project. If they are successfully achieved, if the project is implemented, is well implemented, then we will provide the 50% at the end of the project. Here, let me just share with you that we will be closely following up all the projects. We will be assigning a project delivery manager to each selected projects, and so we will be having regular interactions and meetings, and we'll be also understanding if everything is going well, if we need to deviate to redirect a little bit the project, and so we will try to support you also in achieving your milestones. Another question, are nasal, pharyngeal or oropharyngeal swabs or their derivatives considered like human cell tissues?
I don't think we should answer this question now, Mariana. We leave it, I think it's up to each consortium member to identify if they have ethical issues or not.
Yeah.
The proposals that identify ethical issues would be reviewed by an ethical committee.
Yeah.
If not.
Yeah, I think that in this case, probably the best way is to place a yes to the question and to indicate what you refer to, and then we will assess if that's an issue or not. Another question. So you mentioned photonics technologies, but in the open call text, there isn't a list of key enabling technologies. Do you have in mind a list, or is it the approach totally bottom up for the technologies to be applied? The four domains seem to indicate application domains.
Yes, application.
Yeah, so we have the technological domains. We have there some examples of technologies that can be used or that can be considered to be supported within the open call. But we don't restrict it. We don't restrict the technology itself. We restrict the overall technology domain, or the fit of the technology, the product or the service that you will be providing within those domains. So we don't have a specific list of key enabling technologies that we will be supporting within the open call. Now, regarding the consumables and material required for technical development, if we are developing a software tech product, are expenses equipment such as servers acceptable? Yeah, so equipment, and this includes also servers, they are not funded in this case. Now, next question. Funded solutions are only technological or could fit physical solutions to prevent or control the spread of the pandemic?
No.
Yeah, so it's only no, in this case, this will not be, yeah, this will not be eligible. We are talking about technologies or products that, yeah, I hope this we were clear on this. Now, for the budget estimation, we need quotations from INNO4COV-19 partners related to services we need from them. No, that's what, I don't know if this question, maybe this question came before what I was explaining on the, when I was showing you the technical proposal. So you need to make your estimations without a quotation from our side. So, and we understand that this might be hard for some kind of services, but what we advise you to do is to set a value that you find that is reasonable, and then if we see that your value is too over budgeted or under budgeted, then we will reach to you if your application, the remaining or the rest of the application is well evaluated, and if you are invited for an interview. So for those cases, we will be assessing the budget and we will be getting back to you to further refine the values that you include. I think this clarifies. I don't know, Paulo, if you want to add something. But
yeah, I think it's important to make it clear that, as you said, Mariana, that after for those proposals that will reach the threshold and will go to the interview and pass the interview process, there will be kind of a negotiation process. We will want to really verify what are the TRL levels at stake, see if they present a credible work plan, and then also see if the costs are credible. Of course, then during this negotiation stage, then minor adjustments will probably need to be made to the budget and also to the proposal. So it will be kind of a negotiation phase for those who pass the interview stage.
Okay, so next question. For the costs calculated for the support services, should it be considered as performed by a third party in kind contribution without benefits? For the cost calculated?
No. No, it has to be part of the budget.
Yeah, it has to be part of the budget. Okay, is there an optimal project duration? Oh, yeah, I think I didn't mention this, but each project has up to 1 year to be implemented. So because we are really, we and the European Commission is really eager to see projects going and technologies going to the market in the short time. So we really need to address the challenges that we have now, and so we are giving up to 1 year to the projects to be implemented. Now, would the vaccine technology come within the 4 domains?
We will have to check. I think here
Yeah.
it will be up to the partner to identify, right, and to clarify this, and then during the evaluation, the evaluators will see if or not.
Okay.
So this to make sure that we're following the approach, we will not, also to make it a clear and transparent process. By default, we are not helping any proposer to clarify if their proposal is or not well within the topic. We provided the guidelines. The guidelines are clear in terms of technological areas. So it will be up to the proposer to evaluate if their project idea is or not in compliance with the call topics. So once again, this is a matter of transparency of the process and to make sure that all proposers have access to the same type of information.
Exactly. Thank you, Paula. Now, next question. Do you consider also purely software solutions such as contagion models to be used by policymakers as proper?
What question is that? I'm not.
So do you consider also purely software solutions such as contagion models to be used by policymakers as proper?
No, we cannot decide that.
Yeah,
no.
We cannot decide.
We cannot answer this question.
Are admitted only medical devices or other kinds of COVID-19 detecting technologies can be proposed
so
to?
This goes to my previous comment also, Mariana. So
yeah. What type of activities are eligible for funding? Demonstrating, prototyping, market analysis, promotional activities, marketing. So, yeah, go ahead, Paula. Yeah.
So basically all activities that are needed to bring your product into the market. And once again, the credibility of what you propose in terms of the technical proposal and credibility of what you propose in terms of budget will count also the evaluation. And if you see that including marketing activities is important, and if it's well explained, and if it is in line with what you propose in your work plan, then it will be up to the evaluators to decide.
Thank you. Is there a limit in terms of budget for subcontracting if needed? No, the only limit that we have is for the overheads, which is 15%. Then we don't have limits for each one of the other cost items. So it has to be in proportion to what you describe in your implementation. So it has to make sense, to be aligned with the activities that you propose. And now the final question. So does the project has to start after the grant agreement signature? So 1 year starts after that date. So the project has to start after the sub-grant agreement signature, because we don't have so we don't finance costs. So the financial support is not retroactive. Okay, so we are not going to make retroactive payments. But we are talking about the project that you will be applying for the financial support, because the overall project, so your technology may start before the grant agreement's signature.
But in fact, yeah, the project that they are proposing, the technical work plan they are proposing, and the budget they are proposing will have to start after the grant agreement signature, because, well, this is an emergency action. And, well, the sooner these projects start, the better. And also, this is why we have such a short time frame between the call launch and the first cutoff date, which is more or less 1 month. And the following cutoff dates are also quite close, because the European Union really wants solutions fast in the market. So the sooner the better. And also because we have 1 year, and also because our contractual project is only of 2 years. So necessarily projects will have to start right after the grant agreement.
Okay, so besides the Q&A, we have here some questions on the chat. So one, good morning, thank you for your presentation. Consider the extra point given if the solution is included in the INNO4COV platform. Should the applicant include a dedicated budget for the consortium members as well? So yeah, so as you see, we have a criteria that that values if you identify the need for the contribution from our network. So in this case, you have to indicate that or include that on the dedicated budget, on the overall budget of the project. Now the other question, subcontracts with research institute is allowed? Yes, it is allowed. And if a proposal is rejected, can apply in the other cutoffs? Yeah, as I said before, you can also apply, you can always apply to the following upcoming cutoffs. You can improve your application, and you are more than invited to resubmit it again. If my company applicate with a private research center, the financial support continues only cover, yeah, so it will, the financial support only covers the costs incurred by the companies. Yeah, I think that, I don't know if we don't have more questions.
Yeah, I think the questions finalized. I guess
Yeah.
we're almost 1 hour, right? The webinar was half an hour, but we're close to 1 hour now. So we would invite additional questions. Please send them through the help desk email. And then, like Mariana said, we will update the Q&A section. So
Yeah.
we kindly invite you to regularly consult the Q&A sections in case new questions and new clarifications might pop up.
And also, if you go to the F-Success platform, as I showed you, there is a place that you can put your questions there, and they are open to the community and to all potential applicants. So feel free also to use that forum. So you have several tools that are ways that you can reach to us. And also, as Paula said, bear in mind that we cannot provide tailored support at this stage. So questions to understand if your specific technology fits within the scope cannot be answered by us, but you are invited to ask us other questions related with the criteria and the requirements and so on. Yeah, so thank you for your time and for your interest in the open call. And we are looking forward to receive your applications and to be part of the response to the fight in COVID-19. Yeah, so thank you very much. And thank you, Paula, also for being here.
Thank you all.
And yeah, we will keep you updated.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.